Are you enjoying To Be Hero X and want some recommendations for Chinese anime? Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm the Monio, the interdimensional demon who talks most about Chinese anime on YouTube, and you're on my channel. With the success of To Be Hero X, Chinese anime has been gaining more and more prominence, due to its different and creative themes and its quality of animation. This video has 5 recommendations for excellent but little-known Chinese anime, for those of you who are tired of fantasy anime with the Demon King. Before starting the top 5, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Super Cube, also known as Chinese Solo Leveling, a very cool anime that stands out for its action scenes with incredible animation, and a very eye-catching and interesting story. If you're a fan of Solo Leveling, you'll probably really enjoy Super Cube. And let's go to the top 5. In 5th place, we have The Daily Life of a Mortal King, which works as a kind of parody of animes that have an ultra-powerful protagonist, and takes place in an alternative reality similar to modern China, in a world where people have a kind of spiritual energy that would be equivalent to mana, and which has several uses and also defines the person's social status. And it all starts when ordinary parents have a son who is born extremely powerful, and the story revolves around this protagonist. In high school, while very dangerous situations happen all the time, and the only person capable of dealing with these problems easily is our protagonist, who doesn't want people to find out that he is powerful. All this dynamic creates very funny situations because the protagonist doesn't want people to know how powerful he is, so he does everything in secret and avoids any suspicion. And among the parodies we have satires even of Japanese animes like Pokemon and Dragon Ball. The anime is very well produced. We have very well done fights with quality animation in the moments where there is fighting. One thing I didn't expect was that the anime would have romance, and that this romance would be very well done with the main couple. But even with this element of romance, the main focus is comedy in the form of parody, in a style of humor that even reminds us a bit of One Punch Man. In 4th place, we have the founder of Diabolism. This is an extremely well-produced anime, perhaps the most beautiful on the list, very well animated and with a very stylish art direction. The story is very well written. In the first season we are gradually introduced to the main characters of the story, and the second season begins with a flashback that those who watched it know how frantic the story gets after that, showing the tragic past of some characters, and expanding on this even more in the other seasons. The anime tells several interconnected stories, 2 parallel tales that recount the events of the past and present lives of Wei Wuxian, our protagonist. He is a cultivator, a person who masters the special powers of this world, which are channeled through spiritual weapons, musical instruments, matrices, talismans, alchemy, and various other forms of cultivation tools. Our protagonist stood out as a cultivator with unconventional and forbidden methods to control the undead. The bad part about this anime is that despite being set in a fictional fantasy world, its entire aesthetic is that of ancient China, and some people don't really like anime set in ancient periods, whether in feudal Japan or ancient China. If you're that kind of person, I recommend giving the story a chance, which is very good. In 3rd place, we have I Will Eternal, which is another anime with an aesthetic set in ancient China, but unlike the founder of Diabolism, which is very focused on the history and lore of the world, I Will Eternal has a slightly more traditional structure. It is basically the story of a mortal who ends up in the world of immortals because his uncle became an immortal, who are sort of gods in the Chinese religion. A peculiarity of this anime is that it is quite long, and the reason for this is that it was made in the same release model as One Piece, Naruto, and other animes that are not divided into seasons, and the episodes continue to be released weekly until the end. Although most of these animes lose quality at some point, I Will Eternal maintained excellent quality until the end. It is absurd what they managed to do in terms of production. The anime focuses a lot on the charismatic and fun protagonist in his journey to become stronger and stronger, since he is a prodigy who learns everything very quickly. And even though this sounds familiar to other well-known anime from Japan, with a somewhat cliché story structure, it is all very well done and satisfying to follow, and it already has several seasons. Secondly, we have Hidori no Shida the Outcast, and here we have an anime set in modern times. Our protagonist is supposed to be an ordinary guy, but then he discovers that ordinary is something he simply is not, since he discovers that his grandfather was one of the most powerful guys in this world. And speaking of the world, we have here another world where people manipulate spiritual energy, and use it in different ways, but this is hidden from ordinary people. And after entering college, the protagonist discovers that his grandfather was a very special guy in this sense, and because of this, several assassins began to appear to try to kill the protagonist. But his grandfather was friends with a very talented and charismatic girl, and she not only introduces him to this world of fantastic powers, but also takes responsibility for training him, so that he becomes strong and can fend for himself, and the two become friends when they start working together. As the story progresses, our protagonist surrounds himself with people from this environment who like him, and the plot continues in very unexpected ways, always surprising. So if you like this type of story, this anime is definitely worth watching. First, we have Link Click, which tells the story of two friends who work in a photography studio, and both have special powers related to photos, and extremely difficult names to remember. The guy with black hair is called Qing Shaoshi, and the one with white hair is called Lu Guang, and we also have the girl called Xiao Ling, who despite having no powers, is fundamental to the story. Here we have a plot of mystery, investigation and time travel, as well as a lot of emotion and charismatic characters, who are often victims of their own tragic destiny. The script is incredibly well written. They start with simple missions, then become emotionally involved in some cases, and eventually become involved in a dangerous murder plot, in which other people with mysterious and unknown powers threaten the lives of people close to them. The protagonists need to discover how these powers work, how to defend themselves, who these people are, why they are doing this, and how each character's past is related to all of this. We see the same scene from the perspective of several characters, and we understand how and why things happen that way. If you want to watch an anime that is different from everything else, without any bad episodes and with an incredibly high-quality script, watch Link Click. For those who are interested, there is a video about Link Click here on the channel, where I delve a little deeper into the plot of the anime, and show you why you should watch it, since this is my favorite Chinese anime. But if your favorite Chinese anime didn't make the list, understand that there are many animes and I haven't watched them all. But you can leave recommendations for people here in the comments of this video. And just one more thing before I end the video. Some of these Chinese animes are actually called Donghua, which are original animations produced in China. However, in the video, I prefer to use the term anime to make it easier to understand, since most people who watch Japanese animation are not familiar with this term. But what about you? Have you heard of these animes? Are you interested in any of them? Leave a comment, and if you like the video, subscribe to see the next content. Until next time my people, demonic hugs.